Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay. And I got to tell you, if you're looking for a roll-off can to be delivered to your house, R&B Roll-Off is the roll-off company for you. So brought to you by R&B Roll-Off, the person that can make the little things big things. Yeah. So they don't like to make the mistakes. They like to get the things right that the big companies don't seem to get it. Yeah. So guess what? Give us a call and we'll do some things for you. There you go. Now, back to my man, Craftmatic in the building.
What's up, Smooth Jay?
Man, I had to get that building in there.
Man.
Man, we building on some things, and I got Barbara from Macon, Georgia.
Hey, Miss Barbara, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing just fine. And how's everybody doing today?
Doing good, doing good.
Girl made our way from Macon, Georgia.
In the rain.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're glad to have Miss Barb.
Always.
Jay in the house. This is Bar Talk with Jay, folks. And what we like to do is inspire. We inspire through dialogue. We inspire through just an opportunity to discover yourself in the middle of a conversation, and maybe how you fit, what you would do, be able to make some better decisions about your life. Not really sure what you may be going through tonight, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna hit on some of it.
There you go.
Because our conversations are always so dynamic, and they really, really do a lot for the spirit. I go back and listen to the show every night after the show, and I'm just all inspired by what we're talking about, because this is different. You know, this is a little out of the box. Sometimes we call it a little edgy. Don't let the edgy part get you roared up. We're just trying to bring some tough conversations and some tough topics back into the realm of reality and love and understanding. And so we thank you for being here with us tonight. This is Jay's vision, and we carry it out quite well. So let me introduce once again my partner, Smooth Jay. How you doing tonight, bro?
Man, Craftmatic, only thing I can tell you is so blessed. Why? Because again, if y'all made it out last Friday, that's right, to the Ice Bar in Atlanta, you was able to kick it with me in VIP. I took the people that supported me and brought you up in VIP because you guys are special to me. So one of the things I want to do is hats off to all the people that showed up. One of them was my man Walt. Came up in the building again, my whole cast. So again, that's Craftmatic that stepped in the building. Yeah. Jeffrey Miller, for all y'all ladies that always wanted to meet him in person. He was in the building. Barbara stepped in the building with me as well.
She stepped up.
And then I had some other great guests that supported me behind the scenes. Miss Edith, her friends. So again, I know I'm going to be missing some people, and I do apologize. And again, when we come out, support. One of the things I want to do on this one is to give love back to you guys.
Yeah.
Y'all supported me. With you guys, y'all made my vision possible. And again, share, like life. And without that, it won't be shared and won't be viewed.
Yeah.
I want y'all to be able to grasp this and use it in a positive way. And that right there is my goal and my dream.
Okay.
So thank y'all.
Y'all right. And you are very welcome, Brother Jay. It was a marvelous celebration. And man, I'd love to do it all over again. I danced half the night.
Me too.
And had one too many drink. I had to put it down.
I think my shoes fell off. Well, heels off.
Yeah, we got our groove on that night. It was a good time amongst my family here, and we're gonna plan another one for next year. So y'all just stick around. Hopefully, you folks are enjoying the show, man, because there's just so much rich information that go on here. We just aspire to help you become your greatest possibility. So let's start off tonight with a prayer. And I was going to read a passage of prayer, but I'm just going to do this prayer tonight. And I really just wanted to be about the show and about coming to some greater understandings in your own life. And so let's just bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your presence tonight. You are an awesome presence in our lives, and we thank you for being here with us. We thank you for guiding this show. We thank you for our audience. And we ask tonight, Father, that you give us a greater understanding and a greater wisdom of life and of our lives. We ask, Father, that you would give us greater decision-making power, and that you would give us an understanding of what direction we really need to take to go to the next levels in our life. We ask, Father, that you would guide us, that you would strengthen us, that you would inspire us, and that you would always go before us and prepare the way. And we ask these blessings in your Son's name, dear Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen, amen.
Amen. I had to hold back a little bit, boy, because I needed another couple of minutes.
Back?
Yeah, I held back. I had to hold back there. I love to pray, man. Love to pray. Let's do a real quick recap of last week's show. When it's time to let go of a relationship, what are the warning signs?
Lying, She, you know, there's some things that's just kind of obvious. So, you know, disrespect, you know. But again, I wanted to make sure I was very clear on the signs and also not giving people excuses to give up.
Right.
You know, a lot of times relationships is never going to be perfect.
Right.
So it's really about trying to figure things out before it gets to a point where you have to go that direction.
Right.
And a lot of times it's lack of communication, lack of sympathy, and lack of respect.
Right.
And it comes with you being subtly feeling like she always gonna be there. And I fell into that mode before. And believe me, it don't take people long to wake you up. They don't like that. So I will always tell people, work hard at it, but just have a great understanding. And one of the things I like to say, make sure y'all set goals in a relationship.
Yeah.
From the start. Make sure y'all have a plan to where you want to be. Because I notice a lot of people say, hey, I want him to propose to me, or I want him to be monogamous with me.
Right.
A lot of times you want to set things up. I can't tell you exactly when in the dating game, but I would like to say if y'all vibe real good, it should be set early on.
Right.
If you're not for sure, I wouldn't bring it up, because if it's not a person that you really see yourself all the way down the line with, you wasted your time.
Exactly.
So don't do that. But if you see everything's ticking, then you should sit down with a goal. I mean, no one's getting younger, and even if you're young, you're not getting younger.
Yeah, I like
Bottom
that.
line is to move forward and grow with a plan.
Right.
And that's what business do. And I feel like that relationship is a business plan for a future.
Yeah, I completely agree. But you can't create the plan before it's time to create the plan. And I think that's, you know, where maybe a lot of folks get in trouble. Yeah, because, listen, if you're with someone and you haven't experienced some negative innuendos, you don't know that person well enough, right? I mean, it's not going to all be, you know, glory and smiles and happiness. You're going to have to go through through some things with that person before you really know how they will and can respond in a tough, tight situation. I'm a firm believer in just paying attention, right? If somebody is always being selfish with things in the relationship, they're not going to change because you marry them. Hello, how you doing? So you got to pay attention to the things that are going to make a real difference in a long-term relationship. You know, I'm of the notion that if you're just not feeling the person anymore, I'm not sure what you expect to change. There's no need to go ahead and engage them and marry them if you're not feeling them, right? If it's time to let go of a relationship, you're not feeling them, that's a sign that it's time to make a decision and call it off before you ruin many years of your life. You know, you can grow to fall in love with people, and you don't necessarily, I'm not necessarily talking about, you know, throwing people away just because there's something about them that you don't like.
Right.
I'm really talking about assessing a situation so that you don't put yourself in a box. You don't put yourself behind the curve, you know, in deciding that this person is the person to spend with your life, you know? You can't let anything influence that, not money, not influence, not who they are, what they've done. You can't let anything influence your effort to have a genuine relationship except for the love and the communication and the understanding between the two of you. That's very, very important. So I think it was a fabulous show. There was so much rich dialogue. You know, I can't even do it any justice right now. But I can tell you that we did it justice. I'd love for you to go back and take a look at it, folks. We're all over the internet. Facebook and YouTube are our probably biggest platforms. But we do Instagram, we do Periscope, we do iTunes, Twitter, and so there's
Jay's favorite, Black Planet.
But yeah, Black Planet, POF.
We don't know damn Black
Man, we on everything. We on everything.
And POF.
We on everything.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Bar Talk with Jay, baby. I'm on everything that's moving.
You a bad
Oh,
man,
what you
Jay.
do, baby? I like some people still back there in the past. I want to let them know I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm there for
Yeah.
you.
And
Hey,
listen.
what's that offer up?
Yeah.
I'll put an offer up. I don't care. Y'all selling something, I'm selling something too. Bar Talk with Jay, I'm telling you right now.
That's good. Boy.
You got something used, I got something too.
Listen, I think that is a part of the genius of our show, and the genius of my man Jay is that he's all about marketing, right? I've always said you can bake the greatest cakes in the world, but if you don't know how to market it and sell it, you will always be a nobody. And so, hey, being on Black Planet and POF, that might just mean something to bring folks who need to be here listening to this good information that we got. So, let's move on now to our quote for the day.
What you got, man?
And I'd like Barbara to read this one if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
Okay, all right, please speak right in. Make sure you can hear yourself. Go ahead.
The greatest risk of life is to see whether we will hearken to and obey God's commands in the midst of the storms of life. It is not to endure storms, but to choose the right while they rage. The tragedy of life is to fail in that test, so fail to quality, to return in glory to our heavenly home.
Come on.
Boy, I tell you what, that's so good. That's so good. That is a prayer. That is a prayer. Here's what we're talking about. The essence of what this quote is about is, he says, the great rest of life. The great rest of life, the peace of life, the peace that surpasses all understanding. We're talking about that, having that kind of peace and that kind of rest in your mindset in the midst of your storms. You cannot allow your inside to be in turmoil, even though the outside may be in turmoil. You have to always be laser focused on being a part of the peace of God, right? See, the peace doesn't come from anywhere but God, right? right? If you look for peace from the world, then you're going to be in some trouble, right? Yeah, peace comes from God. So she's talking about resting in the peace of God, that so that you can qualify to return to the glory of our heavenly home. See, heaven is within, and when you have that peace of mind, then you are operating in a heavenly place. See, you're operating where the answers are in that moment, in that time frame, right? And so I'm just asking people. I know you want to say something here. I'm just asking people what we're talking about is obeying the Lord's commandments during the storm. Obeying His word during the storm, right? Don't get upset, don't get frustrated, don't get worried, don't let doubt fill your heart, don't start reaching for straws, don't start taking action on things that you aren't knowledgeable about or you don't feel an anointing to do. Sometimes it's best to just be still if you don't know, right? Be still and the answers will come to you, because being still is like, okay, God, I'm listening, I'm waiting, and I'm listening. And He sees everything that we do. So it's just important to keep a mindset that even though the storm may be happening on the outside, we must stand strong in our peace on the inside. Right? Oh, you had something, Barbara?
You took it out of my mouth, but that also goes back to the show that we had last week. Okay. That is a sign.
Yes.
He's giving us a sign of things that might be happening in life that we might need to control, and to give us that peace in order to work it through.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And man, I got so many stories that came to the surface of my mind about that. Yeah, man, I recall the night, and it's kind of a sad moment, but it was a moment of dramatic propulsion, you know what I'm saying, for me to be my greatest possibility. I remember the night I decided that it was time for me to leave my family, my wife and kids, right? And the premier thought is, if I don't leave, I'm going to get in trouble. Right. And I'm going to do something that I'll regret, so it may be time to separate. And I remember a song, I used to sing a Marvin Gaye song, and the song really just gave me so much peace in my heart, because it was a song about saying goodbye. And even in the midst of that great storm, I just stayed close to Him. I said, He'll guide my way, He'll guide her way, He'll make sure that everything unfolds perfectly, and it did. To this day, I can tell you it unfolded absolutely perfectly. So we just got to stay strong in His word during the midst of the storm. I think that is the key. There are three kinds of storm, and this is a segment that Barb put together for us. There are three kinds of storms, and here's an opportunity to become aware of how to identify your storm, right? The three storms, very simple. The storms that we bring on ourselves, the storms that God causes and brings on us, and then the storms that other people bring on us, right? See, if you know what kind of storm you're dealing with, then you'll know how to attack it in the spirit, right? If I'm dealing with a storm brought on by myself, then I might need to ask for some forgiveness. I might need to ask the Lord to heal me in my spirit or in my body or in my mind. right? Because I've been eating wrong for years, and I know I've been eating wrong for years. Now I'm starting to get sick. I brought it on myself. Let me go ahead and ask the Lord for forgiveness, right? So so we bring it on ourselves through wrong thought and indecision. Wrong thought and indecision. The storms that other people cause, and I think this storm is a big storm in a lot of our lives. The storms that other people cause is a reflection of enemy activity, right? That you have a place that you want to go, a thing that you want to do, but it seems like a lot of haters are pulling at you. They don't want you to be strong. They don't want to pump you up. They don't want to be positive. They don't want to encourage you. They don't want you to get the promotion because it'll make them look less than, right? And so what happens is you have to fight to the mountaintop all by yourself. And so the people around you become adversaries. Not that you want them to, but they don't want for you what you want for you. Right. Therefore, they are going in a different current, right? Enemy activity is one of the big issues that we deal with in life because we don't understand how powerful other people are in our lives. When you have an anger, see, the Lord says, never try to tempt an angry man, right? And the reason why is because if you tempt the angry man is going to start looking down on you. He's going to use his spirit to start wanting catastrophe for you and for you to be sick and for you to be last and for you to be in poverty. He wants the worst for you, and his consciousness matters too, right? But if you don't tempt him, then you never give him the opportunity to think those thoughts. You never give him and thoughts are a part of God's spirit, right? Thoughts are creative. Thoughts do manifest. So we don't want to give the enemy an opportunity to influence our lives, and so we have to do spiritual warfare. The third is the storms that God causes, and I think the storms that God causes is purely guidance. He's always trying to move the ship to this side of the bay or to that side of the bay because he has a plan. And never ask you can ask what the plan is, but I think never ask God why. Right? Because then he got to stop doing what he's doing and spend some time showing you why when he could already bring you to the promised land. You see? Don't question his authority, just follow his lead. He's trying to guide you. I just made the decision today that I need to move to Panama City and be with my father to help him with his health issue. And I know that it's nothing but God moving me in a certain way. Right? I'm not afraid of the future. I'm not doubtful of what needs to happen. I'm not worried about what I might be left behind. That everything is going to operate in divine perfection. And I trust that he's guiding me. And so sometimes when God creates a storm for you, sometimes it's to build character. I know a young lady recently who I think was dealing with a drinking problem. Right? And all of a sudden she started getting these palpitations on the left side of her chest, and she didn't understand it, and so she went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, "You've been drinking too much. You keep drinking, you're gonna die." Immediately she stopped drinking. The Lord put her in a situation, he put her in a storm so that he could bring her out of alcoholism. Right? And that's the way life works. And every time we fall off the path, he's going to create another storm to try to bring you back on the path. That's the way life works. So the three storms, the storms that we bring on ourselves, which are wrong thought and indecision, the storm that are caused by other people, which is enemy activity, and we need to use spiritual warfare, and of course storms that God causes, which is divine guidance to our greatest destiny and to the plan that he has for our lives. Any comment, folks?
Only thing I can tell you, man, when you was mentioning the storm, I can't swim. I know I ain't got all that there. I'm just trying to say, hey, everybody can't swim, so everybody got their own fears, right? I be hearing about that storm. Am I in a boat or something?
Yeah.
Because I better be in the boat, because if I'm just in a little raft or something, I'm going to have some problems.
But that's okay. Right? That's
Brother
okay.
Can't swim. But what I like is having that faith allows me to be able to, I had jet skis, I had boats, even though I can't swim. I was never scared of. Don't let your fears keep you from where you're trying to be.
That's right.
And a lot of times people won't get on a boat because they can't swim just like me.
That's right.
Don't let your fears stop you from doing anything.
Right.
Because one of the things, it's not like I can't learn how. That's number one. And then two, I believe in myself. And I know he has me.
Yes.
So why am I so scared?
Yes.
Because again, it's that fear factor because you can't. Nobody said I can't. I put on a life raft. I did quite well. Now if I take that off, I don't know how I was gonna do
in trouble.
but I'm just gonna tell you on up front.
Yeah.
I don't swim, but do everything in the water like anybody else. I even scuba dive. How you scuba and you can't swim?
Well, you can swim. You just don't trust.
Man, I look like a turtle, bro.
Yeah.
Flapping and it ain't looking good. Or it ain't looking good. But what I can tell you is, it's getting past some of your fears and believing.
There you go.
When you get that, you can get past that storm. Because a lot of people stop, and they wonder why the storm keep lasting. It wasn't meant for you to stop. It was for you to endure and keep going. And that's not what people do.
That's not what people do. But I think it's out of ignorance, meaning not knowing, rather than not being capable.
I agree.
I think there are a lot of people who are asleep, in a slumber in life, and this kind of information helps you wake up. That's what it's really about. As you wake up to the truth will set you free. So let's go ahead and cover our topic for tonight, and I got some music for the break. We've been talking a lot about it, but I think we're going to spend a lot more loving time on the subject. How do we overcome our fears by preparing for the storm? How do we overcome our fears by preparing for the storm? We know, just sitting in our own little lives, that there are many people who are facing great storms in their lives. We know that there are people who are sick, people who don't have homes, people who don't have meals for tonight. We know there are people who don't know how they're going to keep their current home, right? We know people are losing jobs and losing their investments, and people are going through all kinds of relationship hurdles. There's a lot going on in the world, and this show, I think, is a show designed to help you get a stronghold on how to keep yourself afloat, or maybe how to pick yourself up, after a storm, because sometimes storms tear up things, and when you come out from under the rubble, nothing seems to be the same. So we want to talk a lot about that subject tonight, and from every angle that we can. And so you folks stay tuned with us. This is Bar Talk with Jay. Again, I'm Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Yeah, and when we come back from break, I got TR 380 in the building. And my man is going to do some things for y'all. Got poetry. He thought of some great things just for the show, and I want to make sure all y'all be blessed. Great man. And we're going to be right back. I want to tell y'all, inspiration comes from Craftmatic all the time. So all y'all ladies, I'm trying to tell you, spiritual good God. I don't know what's gonna happen tonight because AP ain't in the building. I don't think he's gonna be the same, y'all. Just trying to say. But if anybody missed it, man, we had a great time again on Friday, man. It was the 2-year anniversary, and then again, not just on Friday. We topped it big time on Saturday. We went all the way to what is that? What is it? Conley, Georgia. Conley, Georgia.
Where's that?
Man, it's on the other side of the world from Powder Springs. I'm gonna tell you that right now. But they treated me so good. Block party was off the chain.
Block party.
I have a DJ on that side of town named DJ Mike. DJ Mike took over. He came through when I wasn't even expecting. And man, we had a great time.
Killed it, huh?
Man, we had fun. We had dancing. We got the kids out there playing, and we want to make sure you understand this is like what we like to do for the community.
Right.
So again, when y'all do certain things, man, definitely give us a call.
Man, I was asleep Saturday night.
Yeah, man. Well, I was tired from Friday night.
Did you get a chance to sleep all day or something?
No, man. I fell out Sunday. Saturday, it was off the chain.
Like that,
man. I had Hype Guy, Rocky with me. Jay Moolah was out there hyping the crowd. Doing great things, man. We had fun. So now it's time for me to also introduce my man TR380, sitting on the mic right there.
Hey, what's up?
He got some special things for us. But before I go any further, I got that person that look like him, but it's not exactly him, on the line, and I don't know where he's at. He travels the world. Jamal, what's up, big baby?
What's up, Jay?
Man, I'm coolin', man. What's going on with y'all?
Man. Coolin', where at? Where you at? What part of the country are you today?
I'm still in Philly right now. I leave town this weekend and head back out to Baltimore.
Okay. Well, listen, man, we miss you. We thought about you this weekend while we partied, man. It was a good time, and we gonna catch you on the next
How
round.
was
Bro.
the turn up?
Man, it turned all the way up, bro.
Wow.
We everybody came in with
Any
VIP.
stories that are not mixed in the air?
Yeah, there's a lot of them too.
Okay, Vaughn, I'm gonna hit you up after the show. We
There
can
you
talk
go.
about it.
Thank you very much,
I wasn't in that, but go ahead.
Whatever, you was right there on that couch with me, player. You seen it. You seen it too.
I seen a few things. I did. So what you got for us tonight, Brother Jamal?
Man, you know what? I'm actually in a good headspace right now just because the football game about to come on. I don't know if y'all Falcons fans out there, but I was crying after this week.
Yes,
It was a tough loss to my Falcons.
I understand.
I've been watching this Kavanaugh story all day.
Okay.
I think I lost like 5 hood points. You know what I'm saying?
What do you
Because
mean?
for a brief moment, for a brief one, I almost started to side with the Republicans because he almost had me believe he was innocent.
Oh, he's selling dreams like that, huh?
Yeah, I said almost. I ain't go all the way down that road, but
Yeah.
I was looking at it for a second. I'm out in Philly, so I'm not going to be exploring the city this weekend. I'm instead going to be in Baltimore doing daddy-daughter duties,
Okay.
taking my daughter on a date.
I like that. Yeah, man. More fathers need to take their daughters on dates.
That's right.
That's outstanding, bro. How is
She probably not going to remember this in a couple of years, but it's daddy-daughter time. And
Yeah,
that's what it is.
she'll remember because you'll still be taking her on dates.
There you
know
go.
what I mean? She gonna always remember Pops used to take me on dates. What you doing, bro? You ain't taking me on no dates. You know? She gonna have
Nah,
a
it
good.
really ain't, man.
She gonna have a good fortified wall. You know.
Well, I'll tell you
for the
what.
coming years.
Kraft, go ahead and give them what the top is. You know,
Okay.
that way you got something to dig into.
All right, Brother Jamal, we're talking about people who are going through major setbacks and major storms in life. And the question is basically, how do we overcome our fears by preparing for the storm? How do we overcome storms and our fears and the problems of life?
When the storm is coming, things look real cloudy. You know what I'm saying? You can literally see. You know the grandma. They say, "Well, I smell the rain coming. I smell this." Well, you can get that. You get that anxious thing about you. You get that complacency about you. You get that that little depression. I think the worst place to ever be is in the eye of the storm. Because when you're in the middle of the storm, no matter what turmoil comes, you're just so used to it. You're not gonna walk out. You're just like, hey, I'm here. I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but it takes a certain type of anger to get up out of there.
Yes.
Me, I met my anger, and now I've enrolled into school to start my dental hygienist program. So I can make that $80,000 a year. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Just because I want a career.
Okay.
So in life, I hate when people say, I just want to be happy. Number one, it's not possible, in my opinion. Number two, I don't know where in God-given graces anybody ever said life was supposed to be happy and fair, but it's not, in my opinion. And I think the only way you appreciate life is if you have to fight for it. I think the only way you appreciate love is if you have to fight for it. If it's not worth fighting for,
Yes.
I don't think it's real.
Okay.
Yeah,
And listen, and I'm gonna chime in here, man. I know you may have more to say, but this is dynamic material. He made the statement that it's not possible to be happy, and I'm not sure what you really meant. I want to hear what you meant by that, but give me a moment. Give me just a moment. So it's not possible to be happy that we are supposed to be here to fight for something. And you talked about the anger that it takes. You know, the anger is not necessarily anger. The anger is intestinal fortitude. The anger is the resolve to go and get it, to go and make it happen.
Mhm.
That even in the middle of a storm, you have to wake up, hurt, dazed, whatever, and say, you know what, I'm going to make it out of this. I don't care I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to make it out of this. And you got to have that resolve. And so the resolve in life is to fight for something, not just to sit around and be happy. And I think that's a major point to make in the scheme of lives. We're not here just to be happy. We're not here to sit around with glee and drink wine. We're here to get work done. We're here to achieve. We're here to build this place that the Lord has brought for us. And if we're not doing that, then we're really wasting time. We're really wasting our potential. We're really wasting our lives. So tell me what you meant by it's not possible to be happy.
All right, when I date females, I always ask them up front, like, what do you want? And if I ever hear a girl say, I just want to be happy, I'll pretty much hang up the phone.
Wow.
I do. I do.
Okay, and why?
The reason why I say I hang up the phone on them, number one, is because I don't really entertain ignorance. And
Okay.
at my age, most people that I deal with, we know that life ain't always going to be happy. I mean, you might find some things in the day to make you happy. You might find everybody don't have the money or the whatever to make you happy.
Okay.
I like people who associate with struggle. Not struggling, the difference, but the struggle of I want more.
Yes.
Bone, I took this example from you because I remember at one point you in corporate America, when I would talk to you, bro, how'd you start this business? How'd you get into that? You were still busting your butt. Come home, change, off to the next job. And you would do that for days. Or you'd be up 4 in the morning. Where you going? Off to the next job. And I'm like, I had to envy that because how does a man keep getting up so much? Now, the home is a reflection of the struggle that you put in.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't have got that home the way it was without the struggle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So for that, I can't really talk to people who don't have the same mindset, because if I hang around people with that, I just want to be happy, you get complacent. And that's just not what I want. I want somebody to say, yo, Mom, what you doing? Oh, nah, bro, you need to do something else. Well, give me something that I can take and go, you know what, I need to do better for myself.
Right.
The minute that I'm learning,
Right.
that's the minute I become a fool.
Yeah.
So when I say I don't want a person that just wants to be happy, dealing with a person that just wants to be happy is like trying to fill up a never-ending hole. Because no matter what you did, you try to put in, it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. There's no satisfying a person that just wants to be happy, because who knows what makes them happy.
Right. Who knows what makes them happy? That's exactly right. And there's so much I want to comment on there. I call what he just mentioned the tithe of life. If you're going to have anything in life, you're going to have to pay the just dues. If you're going to have a nice hairdo, you're going to have to keep it tight. You're going to have to spend some money on it. You're going to have to spend some time on it. If you're going to cook a great meal, you're going to have to go out and buy the groceries, and you're going to have to clean up the kitchen at the end of the night. Right? If you're going to, take a great vacation, you're going to have to save money. You're going to have to plan your trip. This is the tithe of life that, and I love the example that he mentioned. If you're going to have the people who have nice homes, they don't have them just because they've been sitting around being happy. They've been going hard in the paint. Any person who owns a home, they go hard in the paint. And the mortgage is the good struggle of life, right?
No, I think it is to be able, like when I've seen, if you ever see Bone's house, sorry Bone, it's a beautiful home.
Yes.
But what I loved about his home was when you go to the back. Because this fool did some real playeristic type stuff. I ain't gonna throw the detail out there, but the attachments that he did. And I was like, wow. And then when we went into the back, and I said, Bone, how much property is yours? And he showed me how much land is actually his.
Yes.
To the curb.
Yes.
That was like, wow, you own all that? Like,
Right.
what you gonna do?
Right.
Nothing I own. Oh, all right. But, guess when the kids say they want to go camping, go to the backyard. That's
Right.
you got the woods in the backyard, and it is. So
Yeah.
I think that stuff is something like you should appreciate. Not
Yes.
envy, but I want to get there one day.
Yes.
I'm not there yet, and I'm not trying to be in his shoes, but man, I can't wait till I do get there.
Absolutely. Man, I'm appalled at the idea of haterism in this world. I just don't understand how there's so many examples of success, and the people who don't have hate on the people who do have. I just don't get
Crabs in
it.
a barrel.
Say again?
We grew up with that mentality, though. Unfortunately, that's an African American mindset. Crabs in a barrel. You made it out, but now what about me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you gotta take me up. I appreciate cats like Bone, and I'm gonna keep giving Bone praise because again, he is a reflection to me of what a man is.
Yeah.
And he shows me even in my growing stages, yo, this is manhood. This is what it looks like. You're not gonna get a break when you hit 40.
There you go.
When you hit 50, you're not gonna get a break. You still gotta keep going.
There you go. There you go. And there are
You know what I mean? I respect it to the fullest.
Yeah, you know, we spend a lot of time in media and, you know, social, et cetera, talking about, you know, the people who have troubles and didn't make it and you know, got to go to AA or, you know, all that stuff. But there's a lot of great examples of successful people in this world. And you might not come into agreement with them on all fronts, but if they own a building, you know, you need to step back and say, hey, you know, that's good stuff. You know what I mean? If they own a truck to go and own a business or whatever, you know, we really need to take more time to pay attention to the successes rather than spending any time, you know, worrying about the successes. So, man, I love your dialogue. I think you just right on point, man. How would you close up your segment tonight, sir?
Everybody wants to know how you succeed. I don't really want to talk to somebody who always succeeds, because you know what? I'm probably not going to reach your level. You know what? I probably wasn't born and blessed with the things you were blessed with. What I like about, I'm sorry, Bone, I'm giving you a little bit too much gas right now, but I remember I asked him, like, I seen all this lawn equipment he had in the back. Well, what are you doing with that? Oh, that's a business I used to have. What happened? And you know, when he was able to explain to me, oh, these are the failures of it. So how do you get the business running? What do you need? What are the expenses? Like, I like knowing where the failures were, because with the failures, I don't have to make the same mistakes in starting off. I now know, okay, that went wrong. Okay, now I can do this right.
Yes.
Like, if failing a test is not a bad thing.
Right.
Staying a failure in a test is a bad thing.
Yes.
You fail the test? All right, cool. Look at the answer you got wrong, study it over, now I know the right answer. If you can't fail, you can't succeed. If you don't lose a heartbreak, you can't get one. If you ain't never had a quick one, then you don't know what it is to have a long one. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
These are things that I think are part of the game that you should know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, man, that's
And,
cold.
yeah, that's cold. Like, that's good, man.
I think you should. You know, I think you should swing for the fences. I think you should go for a Hail Mary pass every blue moon in whatever aspect of your life that is. Just because until you try, swing, miss, fall, get up, you're not gonna know what it is to knock that thing out the park.
Right. That's exactly right. Man. You know, when I was in a telemarketing room for Disney, they counted the number of failures. They counted the number of no's, because if you got a certain number of no's, you were going to get a yes. It's just mathematics, right? It was simply a numbers game, and that's why you can't be shallow or shy in sales. You got to go for it, because you got to play the numbers game, and that's really the way life works. You're going to have to experience so many failures before you get your feet planted on the mountaintop, and if you just understand that. You know, we talked earlier about being in God's rest. Just understand that, hey, he's just taking you to the next place. He's building character, but never, ever, ever give up, right? I like the question you asked, and then we're going to go to break. The question you said, everybody wants to know how to succeed, right? And being successful means being aware of how to deal with the storms. And we're spending a lot of time on storms tonight because so many people are going through it, and we got a lot more dialogue, folks. If you'll just stay with us about really how to come out of it, how to deal with it. I'm loving what we're doing tonight, Jay. This is good stuff.
It is, and Jamal, thank you. I mean, with the great compliments again. It's not just about the house or my struggle, but my struggle would be something that I'd be more than happy to tell anybody.
Yeah.
From all the businesses that I ran to some of the ones that didn't go well. And again, some of it was mismanaged, and some of the time I made one figure. I worked corporate America and ran business.
Right.
Okay? But a lot of time when you hold on to corporate America, they don't give you time to run yours successfully. So a lot of times you got to go ahead and take that whole leap of faith and put it all in. And a lot of people say, okay, why do that when you need some guarantees? See, the guarantee is I kept my job because I did my job.
Right.
So if you did your job, you should be able to do that job. Believe in yourself.
There you go.
And when you do that, you will leave that job. And you will leave with the confidence to make a success of your next career, and that's leaving them. And they're always gonna tell you welcome back, because I always leave with a 2-week notice. It's not about going back, it's leaving correctly, because I'm gonna leave a positive trail behind me.
There you go. There you go. And you folks stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
Dynamic section right there with my man Jamal. The man that travels all over the world. That's what he do. And again, we got TR380 in the building. Y'all gonna hear more from him coming up, because I got that dude that I don't know how his day went. That's right. That man is on the line. The one that like to slap the taste out your mouth. Jeffrey! How you doing, big baby?
Brother Jay, what's going on with you, sir?
Hey, man, I'm doing good, man. I'm recovering from Friday when we was kicking it so much. But hey, I'm all right. We need to know how your day went.
Oh, man, I'm hanging in there. Brother Craft, how you doing, sir?
Hey, man, I'm good, bruh. Looking forward to your segment, man. How was your day today, man?
Man, I tell you what, man, today was a little bit rainy. Today was a little bit sunshiny. Today was a little bit deranged, but we got through it. We still standing, we still rocking, and you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
It is time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions, I give you some answers from a man's point of view.
Okay.
Now, don't get it twisted. I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why you might be single. But before we get to that, here is my disclaimer.
All right.
Now, see, what we're going to talk about now, buddy, you want to get other buddy. I want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in it, because you're going to learn something tonight. Now,
All right.
ladies, you are first. Ladies, some of y'all are habitually single because of your uncontrollable mouth. Now, see, I had to go back and revisit this, because this is the number one reason that some women are single. I'm going to elaborate exactly what I mean when I say uncontrolled mouth. Now, ladies, I need y'all to understand, if someone's disrespecting you, if someone's not treating you right, if they're not holding your feelings in high regard, you are supposed to say something. But that ain't what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I'm talking about that mouth that always want to be right. I'm talking about that mouth that even when they're wrong, it will pull something back from historical evidence and reference and bring it to the forefront and to the present just to be right about something that they are ultimately wrong about. I'm talking about that woman that don't know how to spell the word apology, much less act apologetic. I'm talking about that woman that instead of being a good person and a helpmeet, she'd rather be a tyrant and a battle axe. Ladies, I need y'all to understand something. We ain't got time for that foolishness. We just don't have time for it. Because there are a lot of women out there that know how to speak to us with dignity and grace, who can express themselves in a way that's not coming across as combative, and they know how to use their mouths for other things other than cussing us out. I need y'all to still be on that.
Okay.
So, ladies, you keep on coming at us sideways. You keep on questioning everything that we do. You keep on focusing on the you, trying to be right, and what you're going to discover is we're going to leave your loud mouth ass single.
And for a very long time.
Ouch.
Woo, you know what?
Man, I ain't touching that one.
You know, only thing I'm gonna say, and this is something I heard recently from a buddy of mine, that is just one of the things why he crossed over to the other side, because he could not no longer handle the mouth.
When you say the other side, what side you from? This ain't terrible. Hold on, man.
He's going to the north.
Yeah. What dark side?
First of all, I
They ain't gonna run me over that place.
don't never talk about a gay side.
I'm about to tell
I'm
you.
talking about interracial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm talking
I'm just
about
saying.
white ladies,
I was nervous.
Hispanic
I was
ladies,
just
Dominicans.
I want some clarity.
You never have to worry about that.
I
I don't even discuss that. But
I didn't either, but
but
ATL.
the mouth has caused him to say, I just can't handle black women, and maybe some women all together. You know, I'm not just talking about black women. I'm talking about any women who got mouth. Because I understand, man. It's my understanding. I don't mean no prejudice by this, but I understand the Puerto Rican woman is a real tough woman. You know what I mean? Like, she has lots to say. That's what I'm told. You know, I work with a bunch of Puerto Rican guys, so, you know, they are, you know, well, slam out your windows and key your car up. I hear a lot of that stuff from the guys, you know?
I'm just gonna say, man, I'm not gonna give up on our black women.
I'm not.
One of the things I'm gonna say all day long is their mouth is just one of the outlets that they've been through.
Right.
You know, everybody got a struggle, and then they use that as a weapon sometimes.
Right.
And they don't know how to control it because they've been put down just like we have.
Mm-hmm.
So again, sometimes you have to have an understanding of a person, and you can bring them out of that shell. You can get them out of that mouth with a better understanding and give them back power.
Right.
Sometimes they use it just as a defense.
Okay.
Everybody coming, I'm gonna give you my, because if you can't handle it, you ain't for me.
Right.
So a lot of time I hear it, and I have to listen more deep to find out what they really saying.
There you go.
And when I do that, I can kind of cross over and we can have a better dialogue because a lot of that extra is not necessary.
Right.
And so when she see I'm calm and she see the neck twirling and the rest don't work, if she's interested in me, she will make change on her own. I don't make nobody make any change.
Right.
My whole thing is I don't go to your level. And if you want to come up to my level, you're going to leave some of that stuff alone.
Okay.
Because I don't like the yelling. That doesn't mean anything. You trying to make your point relevant. I can hear. So do you want me to really change for understanding, or because you feel like you're going to be more dominant than me? I'm an alpha male. That ain't going to work.
Right.
So that aggression is going to be met with aggression, and I would rather leave you alone than to be arguing and fighting.
There you go.
I got more things to do in life. So again, cross to the other side. I won't just say, but I can say it can be a deterrent. It's one of the things I would mention to a person. They'd be like, I'm so, you know, I got everything together. What's my problem? I'd be like, your mouth. I mean, if you can control it, but you love my conversation. I love your conversation. I don't like the fact that you want to argue with me all the time. That doesn't work for me. If I do something that you don't like and you tell me about it, I'm cool. You gonna keep on reminding me? Oh, you ain't gonna be around too much longer.
Right.
So some things is just obvious. But if we talk, we can work it out. And then all of a sudden, that black woman becomes that great person that they keep saying that white woman is. She just was raised differently. But she allowed you to do every old thing. That's why we got a lot of foolishness going on all kind of different ways. My whole thing is, let's support, not destroy.
There you go. There you go. And Brother Jeffrey, we'll turn it back over to you, sir.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Brothers, you are next. I need y'all to put y'all seatbelts on because this is the real deal. Fellas, some of y'all might be habitually single, quite frankly, because you don't know how to give your woman an orgasm. I need you to understand it. Yeah, and I had this conversation with a couple of women today, and they said that's why we leave some of y'all good men alone, because y'all just can't satisfy us physically. So here's how it breaks, man. I need you to understand something now. We believe that if we slide on up in there, and we rock that boat for about a good 5-10 minutes, you should be all right. I'm telling you, fellas, this is from the feedback that I've gotten firsthand. That ain't how it works. What you have to do, fellas, you have to get inside that mind. Work the mind and build that orgasm through the body. I need you to hear what I'm saying. You work the mind and you build that orgasm through the body. What tends to happen is this. Women have to compartmentalize what they get from several men. They got one man that they take out for dates, or that takes them out for dates. One man that'll come around and fix something in the house. One man that'll come around and handle her internal plumbing. And one man that's good for a little bit of everything. If he just looked a little better or he was a little taller, he would be her man. This is what I got today. So I need you to understand me, fellas.
Yes.
You can be that dude that encompasses all of those things by slowing down just a little bit in the beginning. Kiss her a little bit longer. Hold her just a little bit tighter. You know, let her feel a little bit more passion. Instead of giving her 3 minutes to warm up, give her an hour and 3 minutes to warm up.
Right.
And watch what happens when you finally do lay your hands on her, put your mouth on her, or handle that plumbing. Watch how quickly her body succumbs to where her mind is.
Right.
And then you'll be able to give her that big O. Now, right now, that big O that we're giving her right now is that, oh no, brother, your ass is going to remain safe.
Now, I would like to say,
man,
that was deep,
yeah.
and you had the ladies over here rolling. They were like, wow, yeah. Yes. I would say all day long, Brother Jeffrey, you definitely know how to go there. To the men, I like to say, let's reel it in and have an understanding when it comes to this orgasm. Jeffrey hit it over the head. It is mental. To get them right and get into their head where they see you as a person that they want to have that kind of experience with, because then they move with you.
Right.
So if you want to get more into the details of the sex, if you get a person that sees great things in you, she will move with you. So when you're having sex, and I mean, I'm not doing this for everybody, but please understand, when you're bonding, it becomes music. As I go down, she moves in the direction that I hit the spot she want me to hit. She know her body better than I ever would.
Right.
But if she will move and make me become great, she will make that whole experience awesome, where we both find each other in a way that is glorious. But what helps is you to understand her and she to see in you. That right there is a chemistry.
Right.
But again, you can hump around, have sex all day long, and a regular come, it's not an orgasm. That's the ultimate. And that's the one that she's gonna always remember.
Absolutely.
So be rememberable and not just be a F.
Yes.
Don't just go in there just to say I did it.
Right.
Because she won't remember you.
Yeah, man, all of that is out, man. Listen, you have to give love to a woman. You know what I mean? When you make love to a woman, you press forward. You know what I mean? You make sure that she's experiencing passion. You know what I mean? That means you take your time. I like what he said, slow down.
Yeah.
Right? Slow down, and you know, and I tell you what, that's a wonderful thing. Listen, go ahead, Brother Jeffrey, just
go
move
ahead.
on.
Tie together, brother.
I'm scared of the subject because I might say something I don't need to say.
Yeah, you about to get in trouble.
I
APN
am.
around too.
I am. Stop it.
Yeah.
Gotta take your time, fellas, man. All that fast pace just don't work for
I mean, a
one.
little in there
They
ain't
need to
no
be
hurt.
loved
Yeah, a little aggression don't hurt nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That
aggression.
freaky side, you know what I'm saying? I ain't the only one.
Yeah.
Look at you.
No whips.
Look at him, right?
No whips, no chains. I'm just saying.
It's
I ain't
on
trying to be
It's on
surprised.
you, Brother Jeffrey.
Saying this ain't no 7 days of slavery.
Go ahead,
I'm
man.
gonna beat you, Jeff. Oh, not him. My bad. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
All right. Are we good? Ladies and gentlemen, what I need everybody to understand, we all know what's happened with, Brother Bill Cosby and the sentencing. And one young lady said to me, why are some of y'all so mad? And I said, I'm not mad. I said, I just feel that this is another instance where the passion of our women has been hijacked. I need you to understand me. The passion of our women has gotten hijacked several times, and it didn't reap benefits for our women. Now, it might feel good for some women and some men to see Bill Cosby get locked up. The thing is this, though. That same energy, that same passion, don't just stop at Bill, or don't direct it just at R. Kelly, even though R. Kelly hadn't committed a crime in this instance. Now, we're not talking about what happened back in the day. We're talking about right now. He's not up for any type of charges, except for the charges in public opinion. What I'm getting at is this. That same passion, that same vitriol, that same energy that you put behind going after Bill Cosby, I want you to put that same type of vigor, that same type of passion in defending your men. Now, men, first of all, we got to give them something to defend. First of all, we can't be having an affair on our wife and family and then say, hey, y'all defend me. I'm not co-signing on that. What I am saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that when we go so hard in the paint at our own downfall, we lose a little bit of our soul. Because we don't rep for each other like that when it's time to stand up and support each other. We don't have our own backs like that when it's time to be there for each other. When somebody starts a business, when somebody got something going on, we don't support each other with that same passion. Let it be something that's tearing one of us down. Oh, we got a lot of passion for that. A whole lot of passion. So I would say this is a cautionary tale. I'm not saying Bill Cosby didn't, or that he didn't deserve what happened. I'm not saying none of that. Okay. I'm just saying, just take that energy and that passion that you felt for getting justice for the women that accused Bill Cosby, and take half of that and talk about putting some justice in our communities, building them up, making them economically sound, giving our children more than just a baby daddy and a baby mama in the house. You start putting some of that passion behind that and watch our communities take off. Or you're going to fall victim again to the next thing that comes along, where they hijack our passion. And they use our passion to get their agenda across, and then they forget about us until the next election. Don't fall for it anymore. Our passion has to be towards our community, just like it was when we were celebrating people being incarcerated for 3 to 10 years. And that's all I got.
That was a mouthful.
That's a lot.
And again, I'm right there with him because again, I think it's real sad. Bill Cosby going in, and I'm not gonna speak no more on it. He 3 to 10. But one of the things I like to say is he did show us some things. His show, The Cosby's, Fat Albert. There's some legacies that he left that we need to hold on to as a positive vessel.
Yes.
Regardless of the negative things that they want to show us now, you know, they don't go back in history and show all the stuff they did to us.
Right.
But they don't want to talk about that.
Right.
But they quick to want to talk about him. So my whole thing is, I don't want to go eye for eye. I want to go for better.
Yes.
And better is to empower, to be able to see ourselves in that position.
Yes.
You cannot just keep looking at ourselves as less than. We are great. We are kings, we queens, kings and queens. And I like to make sure we respect each other as that.
Absolutely.
And that's why I said a loudmouth woman can be under control when she is respected.
Yeah.
She will watch her mouth. She will want to.
Right.
But as long as she's feeling like you a buster, adjuster, guess what? You're going to get what you get. And I ain't mad at it. Give it to him.
And what I hear Jeffrey saying, and it's a really, really important point, he's saying that we need to take, you know, when you heard about Bill Cosby, there was a certain amount of passion that reared up in you. It may have been rage, it may have been, maybe you've been through something like that before, but when that passion reared its head, he's saying, let's transfer it from the negative stuff to a positive stuff. Let's use that passion to go help women's services or, you know, do something other than use that passion in the negative situation or the negative light. And I think that's so important because every time a new situation comes up in our world, in our life, whether it be policy or politics or whatever the case may be, we get upset about it. And the question probably Jeffrey would be asking is, where was that passion before this thing came up? What have you been doing to help our world be a better world? And I think, you know, you really can't say it any better than that. Stop using great passion for nonsense and negative things.
But you got to also know how people spin things. It's like with Kaepernick. Kaepernick took the knee. It was for our injustice, for all the people that was getting killed on the street. But then it turned into this flag thing. Okay? This was a turnaround because they didn't want to fix the problem that we still have today.
Can I interject?
Yes,
I
please.
feel like with every, I mean, all of our leaders or all the people that have held a position of high stature in the black community, you know, in the past 50 years, 50 to 100 years, have been, once they reach that peak, they can't let you leave a legacy. You know, they can't let you leave a legacy that's unblemished. So they gonna throw all these things at you. They're gonna come at you with the traps and devices. I don't know what this man did with these women or whatever the allegations are. If he did, then he deserved what he didn't. But if he did, it just shows that, you know, where our community is targeted. All the people that, like you said, he had the Cosby Show, the
Fat Albert.
Fat Albert.
Yeah.
Like all of those had good moral connotations,
Yes.
like moral constructs.
Yes.
So given to our people, I mean, it's tearing down our heroes and leaders and should only make us want to bond together more. Should only make us want to come together more as a community.
Absolutely.
And I feel like with this conversation, you know, conversations like this can spark those ideas because these are planting seeds. Your mind is a seed field, you know, and your thoughts are the seeds.
There you go.
So whatever you water your mind with, whatever you put into your seed field, it's gonna grow, it's gonna manifest itself. And I feel like this is just a manifestation of tearing down our leaders.
Yeah, and here's how I look at it, that every single person on the globe could be in Bill Cosby's seat. We've all committed stuff that we shouldn't have done, you know, wrongs upon wrongs upon wrongs. That could be any of us. And so I believe that we have to separate the person's talents and gifts and the things that bring value to the world from the person.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I agree as well.
We have to, hey, Bill Cosby's a man, right? But he stood for some great things. He stood for some great ideas, and he obviously made some mistakes. He may have had some sickness. That's what I think it was. He had some illness going on that probably he couldn't help or get any help with. But long and short of it is that he did great things in the world. And if we take our energy off of what he did bad and maybe try to bring light to some of the good that he brought light in the world, we'll find ourselves better using our passion.
Exactly.
I think that's what he's saying. Any parting words for us tonight, Brother Jeffrey?
No, my whole thing is this, man. When it comes to anything that happens, if you think about it, most of these movements that happen in society have some type of origin with a black man being the genesis of it. I just need you to think about that now. The Me Too movement was something that came along after Cosby. I need you to think about it now.
Okay.
The heightened awareness of child molestation came along after the allegations against Michael Jackson. When it came to the illegality of dog fighting, that came along with Michael Vick.
Right.
I just need y'all to hear me now. If you go back and look at a lot of these things, there's always a minority to pin this stuff on. And he just so happens to look like a black man in almost every one of them. All I'm saying is this: stop falling for the okey doke. Stop falling for it. Now, Mike Vick, hey, he admitted he was guilty. Michael Jackson settled one and was exonerated from the other. Bill Cosby was found guilty. The bottom line of it, whether they were innocent or not, they were still used as the poster child to jumpstart those movements. Brock Turner, the college athlete who was arrested and convicted of rape, who got 3 months behind bars, he isn't the poster boy for rape. Bill Cosby is.
Right.
Think about that.
Right.
And quit, just think about what I'm saying. And use the energy to build up our communities and watch that stuff stop happening. That's all I'm saying.
And man, you bring it so strong, Brother Jeffrey. And we just thank you, man. We thank you for being at the party this weekend. Man, it was a good sign just to see you there, and it just continues to show your commitment to the show and to the audience that we serve. And so we thank you, man, for everything that you bring to the table, and we'll look forward to seeing you or talking with you next Thursday.
All day long. And again, appreciation, Jeffrey, for all the stuff that you walked away with, the awards, because again, Jeffrey is a class act. Appreciate him. And again, if any of y'all want to listen to him, he's on Saturdays from 6 to 8, Jeffrey?
That's correct, 6 to 8 on Status Network, or you can just follow my Facebook page. It'll be, going through Facebook Live starting at 6 p.m.
That's my boy.
Fantastic. All right, folks, it is time for another break, and the next half of the show is where Jay and I and our audience, we go in. We got a special treat for you with a guest here in the showroom, in the studio tonight. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Me and Crab gotta have some fun. Jamal brought up some things about some of my different businesses and again about preparing for a storm.
Okay.
One of the things that happens is a lot of times your fear keeps you from understanding the storm.
Right.
Not understanding what's going on will probably make you repeat what you don't need to go through.
That's absolutely right.
So if we really start paying attention to what we're going through and really take heed to it and go back and evaluate it, you can start making better decisions. Because a lot of problems come from the decision making. We all go through something different. Like to me, from different businesses, I went through a flood situation with my mom. My house didn't get flooded, but my mom's did. And to get her out of that environment, there's going to be times where you just have to move. You're going to have to make moves. These moves are not going to be easy, and they're going to be somewhat difficult, but the bottom line, you got to take the fear factor out.
Yes.
I got to look for longevity.
Yes.
One of the things I always want to let you know, in your mind, have a plan. Have a goal, okay? Because the goal makes you understand the plan.
Right.
Because the plan is going to get you to your goal, and your plan will always change.
Right.
Because life is going to throw things at you that you're not expecting. So everybody want to be successful. Successful people have a plan, and it works.
Right.
That's how success comes. Everybody want to look at it as money. It's not
Right.
necessarily money at all. Look at it as your plan. Because if my family is happy and my family is well taken care of, I'm very successful.
Right.
But a lot of people are like, well, I gotta have such and such money, and I will be
successful.
Well, you're looking at another person. You're not being yourself.
Exactly.
I have to be the best me. I don't want to look at another person and say I want to be him because of what happens to me.
Right.
You're gonna lose yourself following somebody else, and I think TV and media does that. Somebody else's fame and somebody else's money ain't yours. Quit playing.
Right.
If you really want to play with money, be a bank teller.
Exactly.
You get to see all of it, you can't take it with you. So then you'll realize it ain't yours.
Right.
So it might not be a reality that you want to chase after. But if you be the best you, it'll actually come in a fashion and a form that you wouldn't even understand or believe when you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And everybody that's been great at success will tell you they had a lot of failures.
Right.
Of course.
They started so many different things. One of the things I always tell people about 409, the formula 409, that's a cleaner solution. For any of y'all that didn't understand, cleaner solution. It was 409 formula. That means it was 408 failures before 409 was created.
Right.
That means they kept going with all those different failures before they got a formula that they want. And that's what's going to make your life successful. Your formula. If you take all the success that somebody else did and you figure out what works for you, that's your formula. Can't no one take that. You can patent it and you can take it to the bank, and I promise you're going to get paid for it. Why people don't is they get a fear. You want to be something else and you don't understand how to endure it and take it into you to make it, I like to say, a base.
Right.
When it makes your core base and you make that formula and you make it work for you, can't nobody take it from you. And that's how you make it through every storm.
Yes.
Because now you have put a shield over you that I promise you everybody else going to know how you move so smoothly.
Right.
Because you was able to take other people's failures and make your success story because you made a formula. But you can't just make it off of somebody else. It got to be you and your willingness to do.
Right.
One of the things Jamal told you, I work corporate America and I work more than one job to get my money up. One thing people tell you, you can use other people's money. That sounds so good, but you're going to find out a lot of people will not give it to you. Not that easy. So again, you got to get your credit score up. There's other things that you got to learn that they ain't telling you. Now, I don't want to give it all out because this is what people pay for, but my whole thing is have a better understanding. Because people tell you lies. Get your credit score up. Have a better understanding of your plan. Write out a vision plan. Write out a plan on how you're going to do it. And these are the things that you're going to have to end up submitting to get what you really want. But it's a process.
Exactly.
And I'm going to tell you now, it's written. You can read books. You can find it out. But do not just listen to somebody else tell you. Just keep that good job you got. Failure happens when you don't want to apply. It's so easy to blame the next person for telling you something.
Yeah.
When I truly blame yourself because you believed in what they said. People told me when I was younger, and I ain't gonna point out who said I was gonna fail and not amount to nothing, because truthfully, I really didn't hear them. It really didn't faze me. I looked at them and said, you know, you at a position that I don't want to be anyway. So who are you to tell me? And then you got to take that negativity they gave you and make it into a positive and be like, okay, now I can't reflect that negative on the next person because I don't want to be like that person again with me like that.
Right.
Change happens when you see it and you take the ability to make it happen for you in a way that's going to be godly.
Yes.
We've been working worldly. Worldliness comes to me so ugly. But godliness is not to be seen that way.
Right.
It's not for you to take it that way or take a slap like that. It's not for you to receive it. That's not for me. And that's why you got to eliminate some people from your circle. Everybody ain't for you. Watch how you go through this storm, because sometimes you're carrying a load that's slowing you down and making that storm longer.
Right.
Because the ones that's really for you will help push you through it.
Exactly.
And that's why people pull over for the storm.
I mean, but sometimes it's like the storm, seeing the storm coming is what causes fear in people.
Right.
Fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real.
That's right.
Right. So
Right.
when you get caught in your storm and you don't know how to progress or you don't know how to build yourself out of that, it makes me agree with the fact that success is built off failures or success is comprised off failures. If you look at Henry Ford or you look at all of these people in the major industries, they had so many failures before they created the
Yes.
V8 engine.
Yes.
It was a year and a half where he kept going back to his team telling them, no, I don't want that. No, if you don't, look, you can keep working on it, y'all can keep failing on it as long as you keep trying. But if you stop trying, you fired.
Right.
You done.
Right.
And they finally found a way to make that V8 engine, you know what I'm saying, and revolutionize the automobile industry. And that's the way we gotta think in life, period. We gotta
exactly
think
right.
progressively. We
That's
gotta,
exactly
you know what I'm saying,
right.
we gotta contribute to our own causes and not just get scared when the storm come, or you know, because it's always brighter days. It's always gonna be a change, and if you're not ready for change, if you can't accept change, that's when you get stuck in that storm.
That's right.
Because that storm is the same. It's constant.
Right.
It's always a storm. It's always gonna be some BS coming your way. It's always gonna be negative people. It's always gonna be this person at your job that get paid more than you, but y'all do the same thing. You know, it's always somebody in a better position than you. How are you going to get into a better position for yourself and stop looking at what other people got? Or,
exactly
you're
right.
a supervisor, but you don't got this, or you don't have the same wherewithal that I have about this company. Well, why are you the supervisor? Why are you worried about them when you could be being the supervisor of your own company?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You could supervise whatever you got going on, take their process, and then multiply, amplify it to become what you said, that godly,
right.
bring it into that godly aspect instead of that worldly aspect. Stop thinking the same as the world. They feed us through the media, they feed us through these TVs, through Instagram, Facebook, all of these negative connotations about success and about what things are. They make it seem like, oh, it's just easy. You do this, you get this. No, you have to do this, that, and the third, and then it might not work out, so you got half of what you had before you started. Like, it's a process, man, but just don't give up. Keep going, persevere, stay strong, and that storm is always going to be there, but your mind state is what's going to help you make it through.
Yeah, and boy, that's powerful. The storm is always going to be there. You know, a sad reality, but it is the truth, right? We're always going to be facing a certain set of storms. And I like what else you said. See, the whole storm process, from front to back, from healing to the troubles to the healing, like you said, it's a process, right? And the storm is really the blessing, right? The storm is the thorn, right? Shun not the troubles, right? Because it is a blessing unto your life. It's guiding you in some way. And I think as soon as you take ownership of the storm, it's almost like at the point you take ownership of the storm, you become bigger than the storm, right? And here's some things. First of all, I think Barbara put together a perfect formula, and I want to read this formula here in just a moment. But here's something to be aware of, folks. At the very moment you make a clear decision about what you want and about who you're going to be and about what you're going to do, at the very moment you make that decision, the storm is created and it's headed towards you. That's the way life works, right? At the very moment you decide that this is what I want, what I'm going to do, what I'm passionate about, I got to have this, the storm is going to rise up and come against you.
That's manifesting the thoughts, right? Didn't you say that earlier?
There it is.
Thoughts manifest.
But see, you know, we're a human spirit. We're so far more intelligent than we ever give ourselves for. We're so far more powerful than we ever give ourselves for credit for, especially when we're operating under the Lord. You know what I mean? When we're operating under the hand of the Lord. And so what's happening is I decide that I want to be the greatest athlete, right? And so to become the greatest athlete, you got to be able to overcome lots of, denials, lots of troubles. People gonna come against you. They're gonna say you're not fast enough, you're not good enough, you can't do it, right? That's a part of the storm, right? The haterism is a part of the storm. It's meant to build character. It's meant to build you up so that if you stay in resolve to what you want to achieve, then the storm is going to make you the type of person that you need to be when you get to the top of that mountain, right? And you mentioned a moment ago philosophy, a philosophical I think that we are all living a philosophical life, right? If you don't have these little turnkey ways to think about life, these turnkey ways to change your own mind or to bring peace within your heart in the midst of the storm, then you're going to be missing a major portion of life, right? When the storm happens, I'm not troubled. I'm just saying, okay, God, you guided me. You want me to do something. You want me to know something. You want me to have something. So I'm open for it. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. And then I go to the closet and start praying. And I say, whatever it is you want me to have, what you want me to get out of this, whatever you want me to learn, whatever you want me to do, I know I ain't gonna die. It ain't gonna kill me, whatever it is. It ain't gonna kill me, so I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna move forward. What's the next step? And every single time I have faced those storms, it just seems like there was a great blessing in it. If we all look over our shoulders to our past, we'll see that all of our greatest hurdles were some of our greatest blessings, right? And sometimes can't see that because we look over our shoulders and we only see the troubles, we don't see the forest. You know, we see the problems that we face, but we don't see how confident and how good we were to get over it. You know, how good the Lord was to bring us through it.
Speaking of that, it's like if you pay attention to the past, then you can prepare for the future. Because the past is like your guideline, okay?
Right.
You got everything laid out that already happened to you. But if those things didn't happen to you, then you wouldn't be the person that you are to deal with this next situation.
There you go. There you go. That's it.
It's a defined line
It
of
is.
you.
It is. And
Straight up.
I have a friend of mine who I know is going to say something to me like, well, what happens if it's extreme? You know, like you lose a child, or you have a limb amputated, or you know, that I call that your lot in life. And I'm not standing in the gap for that idea, but there are people who have been assigned certain lots in life. And if you have been, you know, if you have a disability, or if you're divorced 3 times, or whatever the case may be, that's kind of your lot in life, right? And it's good to accept your lot, right? If you begin to accept your lot, then you'll find that you'll be able to operate
Can
in
I
it.
jump in on that one?
Listen.
And this one right here is for everybody that got some tragedy that happened in life, as in a baby born and only lived for a minute and was gone, and you'd be like, and you want to question God, why? A lot of times things happen that you just don't understand, because on your path you understand He can use that instant. Long as that child came and showed life and was gone, it would change your life. You gotta understand things are going to happen, and it's going to be extreme sometime. You can't just look at the extreme. You got to look at yourself. It's choices.
Right.
He gave you the options of choices, and what are you using with the choices? You can say, I made all the right ones. Obviously, if these things are happening, there's more choices you need to be making. You got to go back and ask Him if there's guidance in Him. But again, you look at self. I did all this. No, you didn't. That's probably why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Quit looking at all what you do.
Mm-hmm.
People say, oh, look at your house. You look at, if a flood came and the house was gone, it doesn't mean my life is gone.
Right.
Okay? You're looking at worldly possessions, and
Right.
you're not looking at you.
Right.
I worked hard for it. I don't want to see it destroyed, but you got to rise up. It's not about the house.
Right.
It's not about my legacy or all of what it's about me.
Yes.
It's about me living my life in a way that I'm telling you, you will prosper no matter what's been done to you. Job. Do you want everything taken to have to go through all that? No one really does. But when you make bad decisions, understand some of that is just you.
Right.
Now me, I'm going to tell you all day long, quit looking at worldly possessions and start looking at your self-centered, your core, and rise up to the whole occasion of what you need to be doing. I like to say,
I like that, Jay.
I don't like everybody want to talk about their cars, everybody want to talk about their houses. My whole thing is, what are you about? If you got this and you're doing bad to your kids and you're doing everything else that was so wrong that nobody else see, that ain't what I really want you to be. I want you to be that great guy that you really need to be, not what somebody else told you to be.
There you go. There you go. And folks, it's time for another break. As you can see, we are going so hard in the paint on the subject. We love we'd love for you to stick around. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay after
Yes.
this.
Hey P, I know y'all just celebrating your birthday, girl. Appreciate you
happy
coming out on
birthday
Friday
to you,
doing the thing.
Yeah, happy birthday. I wish we'd have known that Friday night. We just put up a toast for it.
I don't know. We did all we could do. I ain't lying. We was all doing
I
it.
sure went to my capacity. That ain't no
Man.
Yeah.
If anybody videotaped that right there. Anyway, back to the show.
Back to the show.
Y'all should have been there. It's
So-
not my fault. It's not my fault.
So let's start off by talking about the formula. I like that, Jay, because a
Yeah.
formula is what people need. When I used to, do a lot of teaching and training, adult development in corporate America, I always tried to give people a mental tool.
Right.
Right. So as soon as something happened, you have this mental tool you can turn on that would protect yourself. It'd be like a shield. And Barbara has put together. She called it the 5 spiritual tools to help you overcome the storms of life.
Okay.
Pray without ceasing.
Mm.
Right? Sometimes the storms would not even approach you if you prayed without ceasing.
Okay.
But if you find yourself in the middle of a storm, prayer really is the only way out, right?
Okay.
Standing on God's promise. And that means getting into your word. That means understanding. Listen, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of examples of people who face storms in the Bible. And if you'll get into that word, you'll start to understand their thought process, their mentality, their attitude as the storm approached. You may even be able to study how they prayed to God. That's a good thing to do. So standing on God's promise. Affirm your faith with praise. When the storm comes, is not the time to be quiet. Right? That's the time to speak out. And when I say speak out, I don't mean talk over the problem. I mean talk over the answer. Right? Affirm that everything is going to be okay. You got to keep affirming your spirit, because see, your spirit your spirit really knows the whole story altogether. You don't really have to tell your spirit anything, but the way the subconscious mind works is that it's going to follow your lead. And so if you say, well, I'm falling and I'm going downhill and I can't get up, then your subconscious mind says, okay, you're falling, you're going downhill and you can't get up, and it just receives the impress of your thoughts. That's why you can't say negative stuff to yourself. You got to speak over your life. Like, everything is going to be good. I'm filled with hope. I know there's a way. I don't know the way. God knows the way. I'm getting stronger every day. I'm believing in myself. I'm not going to stop running. I'm not going to stop focusing on the solution. Got to stay focused on speaking truth. The next one is keep showing up. Right? Keep showing up. Keep going to work. Even though you got a lot of enemies, they hating on you, they didn't give you the promotion, you didn't get the raise. Keep showing up every single day like nothing happened. Right?
Now, that don't work if you got 5. Now, if you got 5, don't you show your behind back up at that job. I'm just trying to tell you right now, it ain't gonna work out well for you.
That's a good point, Jay.
I'm just helping you out. You know, 'cause I just thought about that,
Yeah.
and then somebody gonna hear that and be like, well, Jay fired. Don't you bring your ass back up to that job.
Right.
Fired you for a reason. You didn't do your job. All right? I took it away from you.
There you go.
You wasn't handling it. My bad. Go ahead.
There you go. And this is a big one. She's talking about belief system, right? She says, believe in miracles. Right? Stretch your belief to believe that something miraculous could happen today that would dramatically turn your situation around, that would heal this problem.
Yes,
I mean,
Jesus.
listen, I've been saying for a lot of shows that we live on a promise. You gotta first believe in the promise. The promise is that all things are unto you. All you gotta do is just believe. And I believe that this situation can get healed, it can get fixed, and I'm believing and I'm standing on that belief. Oh shit.
I got belief.
Go ahead.
But they said we was gonna get 40 acres in the mule. I ain't got shit. Now, all beliefs need to be understood on the grounds of what was promised and what was given. Don't believe man.
You got it, Jay.
You got to go back to spirituality,
Got to go back
because
to
I
spirit.
promise you,
Yeah.
man has lied to us since the beginning of time.
Right.
And we keep believing myths. And that's what's messing up our formula.
And bad people.
If we go back and get our core and get back to where we came from, I promise you, some of the lies that's being told today will be so much shown to you. You won't believe in what's not really for you. And a lot of times you believing in things that's a fairy tale that's not guiding you. You should be powered from inside. And that's what I'm saying, going back to spiritual belief. And a lot of times we don't go there. And I tell you, it will get you past every storm. Like you said, praying, getting back to you, getting your comfort zone of where I need to be to get us past this. And a lot of times it's with somebody else. Oh, the storm is coming. Everybody panics. Why would I need to panic when I know he's with me? All I need to do is figure out where I might want to go. Because it might be time for a vacation. Because I'm not going to lie. Ain't no need to be sticking around. I got time and I invested to do this. And that's why I want people to get in a better position. You shouldn't have to stay to watch a possession not get looted. Why? You have insurance. If you're in these positions, get in a better position. Don't just stay because you have to stay. Be in a position where you don't have to.
Exactly.
Be able to make a move because these material things is not all you have.
Yeah.
Your life is all you have. Live it to your fullest. There's a lot of people living their life talking about, well, it's going to be better when I go to heaven. Ain't too many people came from heaven and told me how the hell it was. So how about live your life like heaven?
Right.
Understand your choices, define them better, and live your life like heaven. And if not, you will find out where hell is before you ever went there.
Respect.
Because I promise you, most people living in hell right now and swearing up and down when they get to heaven. Understand your choices is why you in hell today. Like my man Phil over there playing his phone during the show. What kind of hellish shit is this? It happens. Everybody ain't gonna be on the same accord. Yeah, I bust y'all Phil because you should know better than that now. Right in the middle of the show.
Right.
But right now, I got my man TR 380 got a poem for y'all. And I held him for last because good things come at the end. I don't want y'all at the beginning of the show know what he gonna do. I asked him to come special guest for a reason. I want to touch the young people's soul tonight because he got words that I appreciate.
Yeah.
What you got for us, man?
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate y'all for having me. This is my second time on Bar Talk with Jay. You feel me? The first
Won't
time
be your
was,
last either. I promise
most
you.
definitely not.
Yeah.
I didn't even title this, but the question that they sent me to write this poem was, when it's time. No, that's not it.
With overcoming our fears?
Yeah.
How do we overcome our fears? By preparing for the storm?
How do we overcome our fears? By preparing for the storm. So I got my lady in here with me, and she'll tell you, I wrote this like right before I pulled up when you was calling me. I was in the middle of writing this shit.
Your skill.
So would you honestly be scared if you knew what was around the corner before you walked around it? The ghost in the attic wouldn't be so creepy if you knew it was creeping. The truth is in plain sight, but try hard as we might, we rarely see it because fear is just false evidence appearing real, and that's their secret.
Yes.
The storm always looks worse when it's approaching, and the news anchors aren't always correct, but at least you have an idea of what's coming so you can start taking steps. But the time you have to look and wonder is the time that we should use to prepare. Get your ass up. We ain't got time to be scared.
Right.
Beware that storm is just a simple test of righteous morals. I just broke it down to an acronym. That storm is just a simple test of righteous morals.
Yes.
Simple trials of risking more. Superficial, thoughtless obstacles requiring mental war.
Yes.
Fair? I know it ain't. Fair, but quit, I know we can't because God will scorn us. He will not mourn those who he warned before the storm had came.
Yes.
And if we are all on the same earth that got flooded when Noah was building that boat, then your little storm don't even come close to that amount of rain. Gotta have our faith. Because when Jesus said, peace be still, the weather changed. So how do we overcome our fears? By preparing for the storm? I dare to say, it's pray and pray, stay vested in faith, and when that storm is on the way, save yourself from a bad outcome tomorrow by being ready for it today. Boom!
Man.
Boom! Hey, this Boy Talk with Jay, y'all, man. I'm Trey 80, the Future Boy Productions. If you
Yeah, I
move,
tell
keep it
you,
moving.
this is the future.
That was hot. That was hot.
Man, that was on fire.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I promise you, I gotta tell you all my whatever topic I got. The way you worded it so quickly, so elegantly.
Yeah.
I would tell you, man, if the youngs don't understand it, the old people did.
Yeah.
Because again, you broke the Bible all the way down.
You did, bro.
I promise you, all
did.
day long. And that's
did.
what we're trying to say. Biblically, there's power in the Bible. You understand there's a lot of things that we need to prepare for, but we're not doing. Get past the fear and get to doing. I go back to Nike. If they just said it real simple, just do it. But y'all scared. Why are you scared when you already see people in front of you doing it? You should look at examples. You should look at your own life and inspire yourself.
There you
And
go.
when you do that, you'll motivate everybody else around you. Because again, this table, a round table, a bar talk with Jay wouldn't have happened unless I had a vision.
Right.
I had a vision because I looked at other people doing things and I wanted to do something as well. I wanted to leave a legacy, but not just a regular legacy. I wanted to leave something that I said was a part of me, what my mistakes going for my future dwellings.
Right.
And a lot of times everybody just want to live in for the future. How much money you gonna make from it? I didn't care. I paid for my way.
Right.
Now, if you really love what you do, you'll pay your way.
Right.
My whole thing is everybody saying, how much are you getting paid? I get paid off my other job.
Yeah, man.
And what you don't understand is I got paid off of it a long time ago because I had endurance. I sustained.
Yeah, please do.
Just because as I'm 23 years old
Mhm.
and I'm going through that same thing right now. I got a message for like I shouted out to all the independent artists or all the people that's on the come up trying to do their thing. Like nobody is going to do it for you. You have to invest in yourself. You have to put time towards what you want. You know how people ain't got time for this, I ain't got time for that, but you catch them at the mall, you catch them smoking weed, you catch them drinking, you catch them doing whatever they do, and they little downtime. But that time is the time that you could be using to put towards your craft. So I respect and I admire that. I got my own t-shirt press. I print these designs, I make them myself, and like you said, if you want it that bad, then you're gonna pay your own way. I pay for all my equipment, I pay for like everything that I have, or I'm not gonna say everything because God has been a big factor in my life. You know what I'm saying? He has sent people to bless me, and he has sent people that seen in me great things, so they wanted to contribute to their vision. But at the same time, if I didn't see it in myself, and if I didn't take that step to initially invest in myself and move forward, then those opportunities would have never came. Invest in yourself, man. Drop that dime on yourself. Stop telling
Drop
people.
that dime on yourself.
And copyright. Please make sure you copyright.
Right? Right.
Again, my man Booby is in the studio, so if y'all don't understand about that, definitely look at my man, because he'll help y'all, because again, if you ain't got the patent, I heard LeBron James had a tattoo on him, and the tattoo guy is suing him because he ain't got rights to it because he designed it. It's getting that small detail of life where things is getting tripping. So again, copyright, patent your stuff. And again, this is one of the things that somebody told me a long time ago. It's kind of funny. They said, something, a lot of people created a lot of things, but the white man created the patent. So I would say, regardless of what they did, let's get back to what we do.
Yeah.
Because the reason they did it is because they seen what we can do.
Yes,
So
that's
get
right.
back to what we do. I mean, we the most powerful things around. And then we want to argue and fight with each other, and I don't understand. It's just like they said, somebody's mouth will make you go to somewhere else where you don't need to be. My whole thing is, if you center correctly, you will balance your ship in a way it won't sway. I found that out the hard way.
Man.
I put too much cargo on one side, and I kept wondering why I kept dipping. So then I moved it to the other side. You don't understand balance until you get in balance.
Right.
And it takes his help, because you wanted to put all the cargo, and I seen a cargo ship with all this cargo on top of it, but it was balanced.
Yeah.
And it went through the waters with no problem. And I couldn't make it halfway.
There you go.
Now, figure it out quickly, and you can shift, and you'll be able to make that journey.
Yeah.
It's an antonym of where you might be. Because a lot of times you take on too much and you don't balance. When I say that, I'm running right now Bar Talk with Jay, small trucking company, and a lot of times I'm on POF. But POF is to get more people on. And the bottom line, they be like, well, why ain't you just got a single lady? Well, I'm a single man, but my whole thing is I focus and I balance, because some things take me out of balance.
Right.
Understand where you at.
There you
And
go.
do not lie about where you at. Because bottom line, people will tear you down and not believe in you. My whole thing is getting people to a better place.
Right.
You can't do it if you don't use the vessel correctly.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And then don't let nobody tell you where you at. You can't let nobody define your
Can't let
success for
nobody
you.
judge where you
what
are.
I'm saying?
That's right.
I heard that already.
Yeah.
I've been blocked, bro. I've been
Yeah.
on that bit. How you gonna block me? I ain't saying nothing to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Block a brother. Really? I be like, I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to give you some advice. You the one out there trying to date.
You define yourself, you know what I'm
There you
saying?
go.
How you carry yourself, your whole energy, your whole entity is defined by the way you speak, by the way you walk, by the way you talk, by the way you interact with other people, by the way you think, ultimately.
Yeah.
So if you change the way you think, you can change the way you live.
There you go. Two things I really like that you said, and the whole idea of just being alone. We talked about this a few shows ago. We are always alone, right? And because you are alone, that your development rests on your shoulders alone. Nobody else is going to do it. Nobody else is going to want what you want for your life. And so we gotta start building ourselves up, right? Developing ourselves. That could just be reading, that might be going to church, that may be spending time in your word, that may be going back to college, that may be getting mentors, but you gotta bring new information into your life, because otherwise you're operating on old information. You're operating on stuff that may not work anymore. I just want to twist before we go to break, just on the subject. We've been talking a lot about God. We've been talking a lot about faith, and we've been talking a lot about leaning on His promises and pray without ceasing. For those of you who don't practice religion or have a relationship with God or Jesus Christ, we want you to know that we have realized that the power does not belong to us, right? The power belongs to God, and when we lean on our God, our higher authority, when we lean on our deity covers us in every way possible in life. God will put money in your pocket. He'll put a bridge over troubled waters. He'll change your mind so you don't have a broken heart anymore. He can do miraculous and unlimited things in our life, but we have to learn to trust and lean on His presence. And listen, there's been enough people to walk the earth to be able to tell you how life goes. And if you study a little bit about people's history and their belief systems, you'll find that these belief systems are very effective. When I talk about Jesus Christ and God, I'm talking about operating in a realm of infinite possibility. That God can do anything at any moment, as much of it as I want Him to do. And all I got to do is be faithful unto Him. That is the belief system that we are all been talking about here during the show. And if you don't get it, if you want more information, write us on the show. Go to your Bible. I bet you the Lord will speak to you as soon as you open that word up. Go to Psalms, go to Proverbs, and you'll start to understand where God is and how He can influence your life. So it is now time for us to go to break. Anything else, fellas?
Before you, with this killer break, I don't even want to do the break. What I want to do,
We got 8 minutes. Let's go.
I know we got 8 minutes. I want to freestyle.
Okay.
I got it. That's right. TR38. I'm putting him on the spot, y'all.
You put him on the
I'm putting him on the spot.
I love it.
I want to do this on purpose. You know why?
Let's do
I
it.
have that much faith in him.
Okay.
Now again, I normally wouldn't put too many people on the spot like this, but the way I feel about this young man, and I want to make sure he really touched your soul like he touched mine.
Right.
That's why he's always welcome back. He can come back to any show he chooses to come to, because again, that's how much I believe in him. And again, he's a young person with a great soul. So
do I need to?
Man.
Why don't you set the tempo? I'll follow it, and then you just go ahead
I'll
and
set the
chime in.
tempo.
Yeah.
Okay. So we gonna kick off this live freestyle. Bar
That's
talk
right.
with Jay. You know, they just put your boy on the spot. But
That's right.
Shit.
Totally.
It's exciting. We seen what you did after the show last time you were here. But
Hey, you real?
you went for like 20 minutes just going hard.
25.
Yeah. 25. So we seen that. So you set the tempo. I'll snap my fingers on it.
All right, I'm gonna set the tempo. I'm gonna start today.
All right.
I just dropped some real knowledge on Bar Talk with Jay. I pulled up from the crib about 20 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, that was just traffic. It's 15 where I stay. Well, I had to work. No, I got arrested. It's kind of crazy, but I bet everybody can respect it. I got arrested for not having a concealed carry license for my weapon. but I moved past the situation. I just kept it stepping.
Right.
I had the bail money on me. I bonded out quick. I spent about 24 hours in that shit. For real though. It ain't something that I wanted to do, but I had to. So just know when that storm comes, it's gonna pass through. All you gotta believe is that God got you, and when that storm passed, believe that He had you.
Yeah.
I'd be glad to talk about all my trials and tribulations, talk about all the things that I've been facing, but it's bigger things that I want to see for our community and our nation.
Yes.
We gotta come together. Summer, spring, winter, fall, any weather, on any endeavor. I'm just trying to get cheddar to put my family on vacation forever. Woo! See, they don't see the things that I see. I got too much ambition. I just straight bar talk. I don't do no ad-libbing.
Right.
Where you at, Jay?
Hey, bro, you did that way. I wish I could flow like you, but I can tell you all day, I love you.
I love you.
And I can say it in a way that, I'm in Atlanta. I love them in another kind of way, 'cause you gotta say these things, man. That's kill. I'm just trying to, you say whatever. Yeah, I do. What I like to say is I love them because, again, a young brother with a great soul is hard to find. Everybody is so ambitious just to be famous, to be rich.
I want to change the
But
world,
to a
man.
person that's willing to change the game and give a dialogue of understanding is different, and I love it. Because again, when you listen to common rap today, you got mumble rap. You got things that's going on today that just got a good beat.
Right.
But do you have an understanding? Are you planting a seed?
Right.
Like what we do is through words, his is through poetry. But it still hits the polemical message of the spine like I want to. I love that. And that's why I say I love him, because he's a person that I can understand. That's why I started this. So again, he just helped fulfill a dream that I want. That's all I'm saying.
I'm inspired. I'm honored, you feel me, to even be invited. Like, I love the dialogue. I do. Like,
Thank you so
y'all
much.
conversations be
Thank you so much, man.
blowing my mind. And they be putting me in a state, because like these are the things that I talk about on a regular, but to myself.
Right.
I don't have people to openly discuss or openly have a dialogue with about the
Exactly.
problems in our community or about my ideas, because when we come down and hash out the ideas, what's next after we sit down and talk? What are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? After we sit
Right.
down and talk,
Right.
which is what my whole purpose and my whole vision is, outside of the music or outside of, just being famous or being rich, is actually having an impact on the community. I'm not necessarily trying to be a Tupac, you know what I'm saying? But I do have that same revolutionary mind state. Like,
Yeah.
like
Me too.
we don't need these people to govern our lives when we can govern ourselves. We create, we are creators.
Right.
And
Right.
God gave us the power of mind.
Yes.
And your mind with your thoughts,
Yes.
your potential for creation is limitless.
Yes.
So that's a God power. That's a power God gave to you to use your mind unlimitedly. Can't nobody else step into your mind and see your thoughts. They can't see your process. So they can't never take from you what you put into yourself. All you have to do is cultivate that seed bed that's in your head, that garden that's in your head. And when you see the fruits of your labor, or when you see the fruits of the thoughts, because it's a process. Once you plant that seed, it gets watered. You say once you think about something,
It's
good,
coming.
or once you think about whatever you want to do in life, there's storm coming. So you got to take initiative. Okay, this is what I want to do, and I know that these are certain hurdles associated with said occupation.
Right.
This is what I'm going to do to prepare myself before I even get there. And then you don't even know, by the time you get there, you're going to be 10, 20 steps ahead of the game, because nobody took the time to think out the process before they actually went through it.
There you go.
Now I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna steal a line from somebody else that we all know. This is how we gonna make America great again. Because what he doing
Watch out.
ain't for me.
That's right.
But I'm gonna tell you what this is what's gonna make us great again. Because it was built off of what we did.
Exactly.
And they can't take that from us. They can say all what they want. But if they go back to what we did from way back to picking cotton when we wasn't paid, all I can tell you is we made the difference then, and we dang sure need to make the difference now.
Yes.
Keep standing strong. Because I tell you all day long, I'm proud.
There you go. I'm proud too, man. And you gave literally a plug for the show. I haven't heard in any format, in any forum, dialogue like this. From all the reality TV shows to talk radio, nobody seems to be talking about what we are really dealing with underneath the surface of our skin, in our hearts and in our minds. And this is my plug. I don't think there's anybody who seemingly is interested in nurturing the human spirit. There are thoughts and there are emotions and there's a whole inner side of people that nobody seems to be nurturing. I guess you get it in your church, you might get it from your parents, but once you leave home and you're not in a church, you don't seem to be fed. And that's what we want to do, is we want to feed you. And hopefully you feel like this kind of dialogue is the kind of dialogue that makes a difference in your mindset, where you can come and you can grow. You can understand that we are like-minded people. We're all going through a little bit of the fire, but none of us are burned.
Right.
We're still grinding, you know, and that's the mindset that you need. So if you need some new friends, fire your old ones. Come be here with us every Thursday night, and because we're all about positivity and we're all about growth of people and watching people becoming their greatest possibility. Each of you have a very specific and a very powerful gift to deliver into this world, and you can't do it alone. You have to do it in the company of those who want to see you blossom. We want to see you blossom, and that's why we want you to continue to be here at Bar Talk with
One
Jay.
more thing before we end. I got a question, or that I want to ask y'all for a perspective purpose. But did y'all know that it's levels to food for thought? It's actually quality food for thought, and then it's non-quality food for thought.
Yeah.
See, you got your fast food for thought,
Right.
and then you got your 5-star meal
Right.
food for thought.
I like
Now this is the 5-star dinner food for thought versus the reality TV shows. Or I just want to go get tattoos, or I want to be the ex-wife of a basketball player and then gain my fame and notoriety off of the connection that I had with this person, that person.
Right,
Like
right.
It's actually taking into account that you have to feed people. You have to feed
Yes.
the souls. You have to feed the underlying element
Yes.
to human beings, which is not being. That's why we have so many dead, zombie-minded people walking around that's not awake, not aware. But it's levels to food for thought. This is high quality. Stop eating that fast food. Come on to Bar Talk with Jay and get you some real food for thought, man.
And with a plug like that, there ain't much I can ever say. But I'll tell you all day long, only thing I ask you is like, share. Because again, I'm not asking you to donate to this. I pay for it.
Right.
My whole thing is I pay for what I love, and I'm gonna keep on paying for what I love.
There you go.
I get paid later. You know, I get paid when I actually see my son say to me, you know, Dad, you're funny, and I love what you bringing. You know, I get my joy from others in different ways.
Yeah.
So, to me, a lot of times they're like, yo, man, you looking for somebody to buy you out? I'm not looking to be controlled.
Exactly.
I'm looking to make a real example, like Bill Cosby and everybody else that did positive things to this world. I want to do the same thing. So I'm not looking for a big payday. I'm looking for you to change your way and be the best you can be.
Yeah.
Because that's what made me be the best me, is when I sat with my brothers, when we sat, we talked, and we talked about improvement and growth.
Right.
I want the same thing with you, because we didn't go public on our men's meeting.
Yeah.
And one of the things I'm going to do is go more public and give you what I already learned. Osmosis. We have to start learning from positive people that surround us and give it back to other people so we can grow in a
Right.
way that we all would know.
Yeah, and let us give out this. Jay said, you know, we ain't necessarily looking for the big payback, but Oprah, Steve Harvey, Fox, CBS, you know, any of y'all want to talk,
That
please
way.
give us a call. We got hours of fabulous
Just-
material. We'll
we-
make
we
you
do. But we wanna
bazillions
keep
of
it
dollars
growing. Wanna
with
keep it growing.
nothing but positive information for your audiences. So that's my plug to tell the world that we're ready to stand on the big stage. Give us a call. We're ready to do it.
And I like to say we already on a great stage. The only thing I want y'all to do is share, like, and pass it to everybody that you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I'm going to tell you is I do it from
Everybody.
love.
That's
It's from the
good.
bottom of my heart.
That's good.
And that's why we vibe the way we do. And if you want to do something positive like this, get in touch with us. If not, I'm out.
And we out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.